If you've been hearing claims that baking soda alone can transform your stamina, boost blood flow, or create some kind of instant vascular explosion, I want you to pause for a moment, because the truth is more nuanced, and using it the wrong way can actually backfire on your performance and your health. Baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, is a simple alkaline compound. It's been used for decades by athletes to buffer lactic acid buildup during intense physical exercise. But here's the real issue. Taking baking soda by itself can irritate the stomach, cause bloating, lead to electrolyte imbalance, and even stress your kidneys if you use it frequently or in high doses. So before anyone thinks this is a magic solution, you need to understand how it works, what it doesn't do, and what you must combine it with if you ever decide to use it. The reason some people notice a temporary vascular effect when using baking soda is because reducing acid buildup can make muscles feel less fatigued, promoting slightly better circulation. But that's not true vasodilation. Real nitric oxide-driven vasodilation comes from nitrates, polyphenols, and certain amino acids, not from baking soda alone. This is why mixing baking soda with the right natural powder can make all the difference. And the combination that actually works for vascular support is beetroot powder. Beetroot is rich in dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a powerful vasodilator that relaxes blood vessels, increases circulation, and supports better oxygen delivery to tissues, including the pelvic region. When you pair beetroot powder's nitric oxide boosting effect with a very small, safe amount of baking soda, you may enhance endurance because the alkalinity delays muscle acidity while the nitrates open blood vessels. This is the reason athletes use these ingredients strategically before training. But this is not a magic hack. This is a physiologic process that works when your body has the nutrients it needs. You must also remember, never use baking soda daily, never use it in large amounts, and never use it if you have kidney issues, high blood pressure, or are on sodium-restricted diets. Baking soda contains a significant amount of sodium, and too much can cause serious harm. So the message is simple: baking soda is not a solo performer. It needs a scientifically backed partner to create real benefits, and even then, moderation is key. When combined with nitrate-rich foods like beetroot powder, you support smoother circulation, better pump during workouts, and improved physical performance, but only when used responsibly. Your body doesn't need shortcuts. It needs smart choices. Use knowledge, not hype, to protect your health and enhance your performance. When people come across bold claims online promising instant stamina, stronger blood flow, vascular explosion just by taking baking soda alone, it's easy to get curious. After all, baking soda is a simple, inexpensive ingredient most of us already have in our kitchen. But before you rush to try it, it's important to slow down and understand what's actually happening inside your body. Baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, is not a magic powder for circulation. It does not open your blood vessels, it does not boost nitric oxide levels, and it does not directly improve sexual or athletic performance. What it does is buffer acid in your system. That can be helpful in some cases, but it can also cause uncomfortable and sometimes risky side effects if used incorrectly. The reason some people feel a temporary rise in energy after taking baking soda is because it neutralizes acids that build up during intense physical activity, helping your muscles feel less fatigued. But this temporary shift is not the same thing as increasing blood flow. True vascular support, the kind that helps with stamina, performance, and oxygen delivery, comes from ingredients that increase nitric oxide, not alkalinity. Baking soda simply isn't one of them. In fact, taking it alone, especially in larger or repeated doses, can lead to bloating, gas, stomach cramps, nausea, and diarrhea. The sudden shift in your body's pH can upset your digestive system and even put strain on your kidneys. What's even more important is the sodium content. Baking soda is extremely high in sodium, and that can raise your blood pressure or create electrolyte imbalances if you use it regularly. This is why it must never be used daily, and why people with hypertension, kidney disease, or heart issues should avoid this approach altogether. Many people online skip these warnings, but they matter. Your body is sensitive to sudden chemical changes, and using baking soda without understanding the risks can lead to consequences you don't expect. Despite its limitations, baking soda can be helpful in very specific situations when used the right way and paired with the right partner. That's where nitrate-rich powders like beetroot come in. Beetroot is one of the most powerful natural sources of dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes and opens blood vessels, improving blood flow to muscles and other tissues. When you combine a small, controlled amount of baking soda with beetroot powder, You're supporting your body in two different ways. The beetroot helps open blood vessels, while the baking soda delays the buildup of acid during physical activity. This combination can create a noticeable difference in endurance and circulation, especially during workouts or activities requiring sustained energy. But even with these benefits, moderation is everything. The goal is not to rely on a quick hack, but to use your knowledge wisely. Baking soda alone is never the right approach. Understanding how your body works and respecting its limits is what truly leads to better, safer performance in the long term. Many people underestimate how powerful the wrong use of baking soda can be on the body, and that's why so many individuals misuse it thinking it will instantly boost their strength, energy, or circulation. The truth is that baking soda alone is not designed to support vascular health, and when you use it incorrectly, it can actually make you feel worse instead of better. The digestive system is especially sensitive to sudden shifts in pH, and baking soda is extremely alkaline. When you consume it by itself, especially on an empty stomach or in larger amounts, it reacts with the acid in your stomach and releases carbon dioxide gas. This gas buildup is what causes bloating, burping, stomach pressure, and discomfort. Many people confuse this sensation with activation or energy, when in reality it's simply the result of gas expansion inside the stomach. Another issue is that baking soda can temporarily disrupt the balance of stomach acids that your body needs for digestion. Stomach acid doesn't just break down food, it helps kill harmful bacteria, supports nutrient absorption, and keeps the digestive process flowing smoothly. When you neutralize too much of that acid, you can end up with indigestion, slow digestion, and even increased risk of gut infections. Over time, repeated use of baking soda can create a cycle where your digestive tract becomes less efficient, causing constipation, bloating, and nutrient deficiencies. This is the opposite of what most people are hoping for when they take it. The impact on electrolytes is another major concern. Because baking soda contains a high amount of sodium, it can interfere with the delicate balance of minerals in your bloodstream. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium all work together to support muscle function, nerve transmission, hydration, and blood pressure regulation. When sodium levels rise too quickly, your body responds by retaining water, which can make you feel swollen, heavy, and sluggish. Worse yet, excessive sodium can raise blood pressure, stressing your heart and blood vessels. Anyone who already struggles with hypertension or water retention should be especially cautious. Kidney stress is another risk that people rarely talk about. Your kidneys are responsible for filtering excess sodium and waste products from the bloodstream. And when you suddenly introduce a large dose of baking soda, you force them to work harder. For someone with even mild kidney issues, this can be risky. It's also the reason why doctors generally discourage the long-term or frequent use of baking soda as a supplement. What may seem like a harmless household ingredient can create real medical problems when used irresponsibly. All of this is why baking soda should never be taken by itself if your goal is to improve circulation or boost performance. The side effects outweigh the supposed benefits, and there is no physiological mechanism by which baking soda alone can open blood vessels or enhance nitric oxide production. It's important to recognize the difference between internet hype and real biological processes. If baking soda truly created a vascular explosion, it would be used in medicine for that purpose, but it isn't. Understanding the limitations and potential dangers helps you avoid unnecessary harm and directs you towards safer, more effective methods for supporting your body. When people start searching for natural ways to boost blood flow, increase stamina, or enhance performance, they often stumble across a wide variety of ingredients, some useful, some exaggerated, and some completely misunderstood. Baking soda falls into that misunderstood category because although it has a real physiological effect on the body, it is not the kind of effect most people assume. The truth is that genuine vascular dilation, the type that improves circulation and supports energy, depends heavily on nitric oxide, not alkalinity. Nitric oxide is a tiny molecule produced inside your blood vessels that signals them to relax and widen. This expansion allows more oxygen-rich blood to travel through your arteries and reach your muscles, organs, and tissues. Without this molecule, you cannot achieve true improvements in blood flow, stamina, or performance. This is where certain natural powders become extremely important, especially those that contain dietary nitrates. Among all natural foods, beetroot powder stands out as one of the highest sources of these nitrates. When you consume beetroot, your body converts the nitrates into nitrites and then into nitric oxide. This process is well researched and forms the basis of why athletes, bodybuilders, and endurance trainers often use beetroot supplements before workouts. The increase in nitric oxide results in smoother, more flexible blood vessels, reduced vascular resistance, and improved oxygen delivery. This is something baking soda simply cannot do on its own. Another important set of nutrients that support nitric oxide production comes from amino acids like L-arginine and L-citrulline. These are building blocks your body uses to generate nitric oxide through a different pathway. Foods such as watermelon, pomegranate, spinach, Swiss chard, and dark leafy greens also contribute to this process because of their natural nitrate content and antioxidant profile. When your body has enough of these nutrients, your blood vessels function more efficiently, your muscles recover more easily, and your stamina naturally increases without the need for harsh stimulants or risky chemicals. Polyphenols found in foods like pomegranate and dark berries also play a major role. These compounds protect nitric oxide from breaking down too quickly, allowing it to stay active in your bloodstream longer. When you combine polyphenol-rich foods with nitrate-rich foods, you create a powerful synergy that supports sustained blood flow. This combination not only helps with exercise performance, but also supports long-term cardiovascular health. Again, these are scientifically grounded mechanisms, not shortcuts or gimmicks. The biggest mistake people make is assuming that one ingredient alone can produce dramatic results. Baking soda on its own does not participate in nitric oxide production. It does not increase vascular flexibility, and it does not support circulation the way nitrate-rich powders do. That's why so many people feel disappointed after trying baking soda expecting a quick fix. The key to real improvement lies in supplying your body with nutrients that directly influence blood vessel health. When you understand the science of nitric oxide, everything becomes clearer. You realize that performance, stamina, and vascular health depend on a combination of natural compounds, not on a single ingredient. And once you know which nutrients truly support blood flow, you can approach your goals more intelligently, choosing ingredients that work with your body instead of relying on myths or misinformation. The real power of combining baking soda with a nitrate-rich powder like beetroot lies in how these two substances complement each other, not in some magical chemical reaction. Each one influences the body in a different way, and when used together in the right proportions, they create a performance-enhancing synergy that neither ingredient can achieve alone. To understand this, you have to look at what happens to your muscles, your bloodstream, and your energy systems during physical exertion. When you exercise or engage in any activity requiring stamina, your muscles naturally produce acid as a byproduct of effort. This acid buildup is what creates that burning sensation and eventually leads to fatigue. Baking soda, being alkaline, can temporarily buffer this acid and slow down that burning effect, but this alone does nothing for blood vessel flexibility. Beetroot powder, on the other hand, works on an entirely different physiological pathway. Its nitrates convert into nitric oxide, which signals your blood vessels to widen. This widening allows a greater volume of oxygenated blood to reach your muscles more easily. More oxygen means more endurance, more strength, and better recovery. So when you combine beetroot's vasodilating ability with baking soda's acid buffering effect, you are essentially attacking fatigue from two angles. You are giving your vessels the space to expand while also delaying the discomfort that usually forces you to slow down. This is one of the reasons why endurance athletes and strength trainers sometimes use these ingredients before competitions. With widened blood vessels, your muscles receive more nutrients and oxygen. With delayed acid buildup, you can push harder before experiencing fatigue. The combination creates a feeling of sustained energy, like your muscles are operating more efficiently and smoothly. Instead of hitting a wall early, your body maintains a higher performance level for longer. However, the timing and dosage are extremely important. Too much baking soda can cause severe bloating, digestive discomfort, and nausea. Too little beetroot powder can fail to deliver enough nitrates to meaningfully increase nitric oxide production. The idea is not to overload your system, but to create balance. This is why athletes typically use just a small amount of baking soda, often less than half a teaspoon, combined with a moderate dose of beetroot powder. It's about enhancing the body's natural processes, not overwhelming them. Another benefit of this combination is improved muscle recovery. When blood vessels dilate, more nutrients reach your tissues, helping repair micro tears and reduce soreness. The better your circulation, the faster your recovery. The alkalinity from baking soda also reduces the acidic stress placed on muscle fibers. Together, they contribute to a workout experience that feels smoother, less painful, and more productive. But it is crucial to understand that this combination is not meant for daily use. Baking soda taken too frequently can cause sodium overload, dehydration, and pressure on your kidneys. The goal is occasional strategic use, not routine consumption. When used wisely, The synergy of beetroot powder and baking soda can create powerful benefits without the harmful risk associated with using baking soda alone. One of the most important things people overlook when experimenting with baking soda for performance is the issue of moderation. Baking soda might seem harmless because it's a common kitchen ingredient, but internally it carries real physiological impact, especially when used frequently or in large doses. When you consume baking soda, you're introducing a substantial amount of sodium into your bloodstream. This sodium doesn't just disappear, your body has to process it, balance it, and eliminate the excess. Using it too often forces your kidneys and cardiovascular system to work harder than they should, which is why daily use is strongly discouraged regardless of your fitness goals. Most people don't realize how sensitive the body is to sudden sodium spikes. Sodium is essential, but too much pushes the body toward water retention, elevated blood pressure, and electrolyte imbalance. These issues might start subtly with symptoms like bloating, feeling puffy, headaches, or increased thirst. But over time, frequent sodium overload can create conditions that make it harder for your heart to pump efficiently. This is especially risky for individuals who already struggle with blood pressure or have a family history of heart disease. What begins as a simple attempt to improve energy or circulation can turn into a burden on the very systems you're trying to support. Beyond sodium concerns, the digestive impact of regular baking soda use is another major reason to avoid daily or excessive intake. The stomach maintains a delicate acidic environment to break down food, absorb nutrients, and protect against harmful organisms. When you repeatedly neutralize that acid with baking soda, you interfere with your body's natural digestive rhythm. This can lead to chronic indigestion, slow stomach emptying, increased gut infections, and reduced absorption of vital minerals like magnesium, calcium, and zinc. Over time, this digestive imbalance can weaken the body, reduce energy levels, and interfere with overall performance and wellness. Another reason daily baking soda use is discouraged is because of its effect on metabolic pH. While your body is incredibly good at maintaining stable pH levels, frequent alkalizing substances can create disruptions that your system must constantly compensate for. This adds unnecessary stress to the kidneys, which are responsible for filtering out excess alkaline compounds. For someone with even mild or undiagnosed kidney issues, this stress can accumulate and lead to complications. It's not worth risking long-term kidney strain for a temporary performance boost. This is why baking soda is only useful in very small, occasional, and strategic doses, often before intense physical activity where acid buffering provides real value. Even then, it should never be paired with high sodium foods or used repeatedly throughout the week. The better approach is to focus on nourishing your body with ingredients that naturally support blood flow and endurance without carrying the risks associated with sodium overload. Nitrate-rich and antioxidant-rich foods can be used daily without harm, offering long-term benefits that enhance your overall vascular health. The key message is simple. Baking soda can be helpful in rare, controlled moments, but it should never become a habit. Your heart, kidneys, and digestive system depend on stability, and pushing baking soda too far or too often disrupts that balance. Respecting your body's limitations is not a sign of weakness. It is the smartest strategy for sustaining long-term strength, performance, and health. There is a serious misconception online that because baking soda is inexpensive and commonly used in kitchens, it must be safe for everyone. But the truth is that certain people should completely avoid taking baking soda as a supplement, even in small amounts. The risks become significantly higher for individuals with existing health conditions such as high blood pressure, kidney problems, heart disease, or those who are on sodium-restricted diets. Baking soda contains extremely high levels of sodium, and when this sodium enters the bloodstream, it doesn't just pass through without effect. It immediately begins to alter the delicate balance of fluids and electrolytes in the body, and for some people, even a small disturbance can lead to dangerous consequences. People with hypertension, for example, are already dealing with elevated pressure inside their blood vessels. When sodium levels rise, the body compensates by retaining more water. This additional fluid increases the volume of blood circulating through the arteries, which further elevates blood pressure. Even a minor spike can put unnecessary strain on the heart and blood vessels. For someone managing hypertension with medication, baking soda can counteract the effects of their treatment, making their condition more difficult to control. This is why medical professionals consistently warn against using baking soda supplementation for individuals with high blood pressure. Kidney conditions present an even more serious concern. The kidneys regulate sodium balance, blood pressure, and the overall chemical stability of the bloodstream. When you consume baking soda, the kidneys must work harder to filter out the excess sodium and maintain the body's natural pH levels. For people with reduced kidney function, this added burden can accelerate damage. In some cases, it can even trigger acute complications. The kidneys are not meant to be overwhelmed repeatedly by sudden alkaline loads or sodium surges, and doing so on a regular basis can push them beyond their capacity. Those who follow sodium-restricted diets, which include individuals with heart disease, liver disease, or fluid retention issues, also need to stay far away from baking soda as a supplement. Sodium restriction exists for a reason: to relieve pressure on the heart, reduce fluid retention, and prevent strain on delicate organs. Introducing baking soda into the diet can directly undermine these goals, undoing progress and potentially leading to dangerous spikes in swelling, fluid buildup, or cardiovascular stress. Another group that must exercise caution includes individuals with gastrointestinal issues. Because baking soda rapidly alters stomach acidity, it can worsen certain stomach conditions and interfere with medications designed to reduce acid in more controlled ways. People with ulcers, frequent indigestion, or reflux may find that baking soda gives temporary relief due to neutralization of stomach acid, but it ultimately disrupts the stomach's natural environment, which can worsen symptoms over time. Lastly, pregnant women should avoid baking soda supplementation unless directed by a healthcare professional. Pregnancy already places significant strain on the kidneys and cardiovascular system. Introducing additional sodium can increase swelling, raise blood pressure, and potentially contribute to complications. The bottom line is straightforward: baking soda is not universally safe. Its effects on sodium balance, blood pressure, kidney function, and digestion mean that many individuals face serious risks when using it as a performance enhancer. Understanding these risks helps you make smarter choices and protects your long-term health, ensuring you don't trade short-term experimentation for long-term consequences. At the end of the day, your body isn't asking for shortcuts, quick fixes, or risky experiments. It's asking for understanding, balance, and respect. Baking soda is not a miracle ingredient, and using it the wrong way can do far more harm than good. What truly elevates your stamina, circulation, and performance are the choices that support your physiology, not fight against it. When you pair the right nutrients like nitrate, rich powders, with smart, occasional strategies, you're working with your body instead of forcing it into unnatural reactions. Remember, real strength isn't built on trends or viral hacks. It's built on knowledge. It's built on consistency, and it's built on listening to what your body truly needs. Your health is your greatest asset, and every decision you make should elevate it, not endanger it. So approach every strategy with awareness and choose the path that protects your long-term well-being. Because when you honor your body, it rewards you with the energy, vitality, and performance you're working so hard to achieve.